You're watching the first Newshour Debate on Times Now Super Prime Time.
Who are the five-star activists? Let's debate this tonight. On the one side, we have Madhuresh Kumar, National Convener of the National Alliance of People's Movements, critical of what the Prime Minister said. Satinath Sarangi, well-known social activist, is joining us from Bhopal. He says the government is trying its best to defame NGOs and influence the judiciary. Satinath, thanks for coming. Vandana Shiva, founder of the Research Foundation for Science, she says this is a murder of democracy by mocking activists, silencing NGOs by tagging them as five-star activists. No one can influence the judiciary, she says. Vandana Shiva, it's good of you to come on the program. Madhu Goud Yaskhi of the Congress Party, obviously questioning the Prime Minister. On the other side, we are opening this up to debate, and our starting speakers are R Venkatesh, Chartered Accountant, leans towards the BJP on several issues, and Policy Analyst, and Dr Sambit Patra, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Should we get ready? This is the first debate of the first day of this week on the Newshour tonight. Very important subject. It's going to be an open debate. I've made my own position on the issue quite clear in the introductory comments. I'd like to start with Sambit Patra, and feel free to come in after that. Sambit Patra, can you name a few of the five-star activists the Prime Minister was talking about?
Arnab, today that you have asked a question, let me start by a caveat. That today I would be very calm, measured and calibrated, because it's a very serious debate between the Prime Minister.
Do you mean you're usually not calm and calibrated? And why do you need to calibrate yourself?
Usually I am tuned
Vandana
to the
Shiva
type
is
of
smiling.
debate we have over here, but no.
Is it because you're on the back foot tonight?
I believe. No. You have not even seen my foot right now, so how do you know whether I'm in the back foot or the
I have never
foot?
meant it literally, I meant it metaphorically.
No, metaphorically also, all I mean to say is let's all be composed and calm, because
that's all right. Enough caveats. Name the five-star activists, please. Please name them. I think you're wasting time.
Who are the five-star? Who are the five-star activists? This is a question to which I will say that there were two stakeholders yesterday. One was the Speaker, the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, who mentioned the five-star activists, meaning perception. And the second was the listener, who were the eminent judges and the judicial luminaries of this country, who could understood what the Speaker said. Or else they would have definitely asked for a clarification. When both the stakeholders could understand what five-star activism means, what
I don't think so.
Activism
I don't
means.
think so.
I believe
you're wrong on the first comment. I don't think so. I don't think there was anything in the response of the judiciary yesterday. Was there any
measured way? I think so.
One second. No, I don't think. If you can show me one comment today. Okay, Vandana Shiva, Satinath Sarangi and Madhuresh ji, feel free to come at any point of time, including Mr. Madhu Goud. I would say, in fact, I think the Chief Justice of India, H.L. Dattu, strongly contradicted the Prime Minister and said, judges are today as fearless, Mr. Prime Minister, as they ever were.
I would like to remind my friend.
But this was not about the five-star thing. This was about the first statement. This was not about the five-star thing.
Madhu Goud is responding. Please be equally calibrated. Thank you, Madhu Goud.
A person no less than the Prime Minister accusing the judiciary, the five-star culture or activists driving the judiciary. It is uncalled. It's a direct attempt undermine the independent functioning of the judiciary, and leveling such an allegation and trying to malign the functioning of the judge or functioning of the judiciary, and secondly trying to inculcate in people's mind that the judiciary, the judgments, the pronouncement of judgments are maybe influenced.
Subject to influence.
It is absolutely atrocious and uncalled, subject to influence.
Yeah, this is a big...
It is absolutely a direct attack on the
in other words,
judiciary. And let me remind my friend, as you rightly said it, the Chief Justice of India contradicts the statement of the Prime Minister.
On the spot, yes. On the spot,
Prime Minister is so concerned of the reform of the judiciary. Why didn't he address providing the enough funds for the infrastructure and staffing, or
gentlemen, Madhu Goud, let's get everyone in. Let's make short opening remarks. Let's make short opening remarks. I'd like to get others in. I'd like to get others in. The point is that Mr. Modi is a serving Prime Minister. He has questioned the Indian judiciary's ability to insulate itself from external pressure. He has said the judiciary is vulnerable to five-star activists. Whoever they may be, he names nobody. In other words, he has questioned the judiciary's ability to differentiate between perception and reality, even though the court would deliberate on the basis of the facts of the matter. So these are very, very big comments that have been made by the Prime Minister of India. Let's not try and play it down today. If the Prime Minister believes in those comments, let the BJP back it up tonight. Satinath Sarangi, I think, is raring to come into the debate. Yes, Satinath.
I think the Prime Minister's statement comes as no surprise to me, because this government has hit a low in terms of denting the judiciary by influencing the judicial process. And if there's one case to be mentioned where it is most blatant, it's the way Amit Shah has been discharged in the fake encounter of Sohrabuddin case. 3 judges have changed. 1 judge
So you mean to say that the Supreme Court was, the Court of India in fact was influenced? Now this is contempt of court when you say that the judge was influenced. My God, Mr. Satinath Sarangi, what do you mean to say? What do you mean to say? First, your statement has come under fire today. No. Look at the record. You first look at the record. You are on the national television saying that in some way or other the judge was influenced by Bharatiya Janata Party. Now you should ask this question to the judge. You have illustrated a case which amounts to contempt of court, Mr. Satinath Sarangi. That's why. No. When you have contempt
Sambit Patra, Sambit Patra, 1 second. Sambit Patra, going by your own. No, 1 second. Going by your own option of remaining calm and calibrated in your own words today, I would request you. I would request you to remember. No, 1 second. No, 1 second. Sambit. Repetition. No, repetition of a point. Sambit, now you see.
Say that the court were influenced under the BJP government.
Now you see.
This amounts to contempt of court.
Yes, but do not keep repeating the same point. Now, you made the point. I'll let Madhuresh come in. Madhuresh.
BJP tactics.
Madhuresh.
Mr. Patra, you are having a hard time defending this, but I think apart from what Arnab has said,
I should have a hard time, Mr. Madhurendra. I have all the facts in front of me.
I'm sure you have all the facts.
No,
please listen to me. No, okay, doesn't matter. You gave a number of
Don't comment on my hard times and what foot I'm playing on.
Doesn't matter. Please listen to us.
Facts.
Please listen for a second. Learn to, So one is what they have already said about the Prime Minister making a scathing attack on the judiciary's ability. I think what Arnab is asking 5-star activists, I would request if you could name 5 cases which you think, in your opinion, Supreme Court has actually given under the influence.
I think you should name them.
Cases.
I think you should name them. I think you should name them. Do you think? No, 1 second. Vandana Shiva. No, Vandana Shiva. I'm getting everyone in. Only point tonight I'm making on the Newshour. It's a fantastic debate. We have a great time every evening by debating the subjects and putting it out before the whole country to see. All I'm requesting is interventions shorter, when others are speaking, listen, and then surely come into the debate. And by the way, Sambit Patra, in your new calm, calibrated, and God knows what other adjective you used to describe your appearance tonight, I would add one more thing. You make your point, don't keep repeating it while the other person is speaking, because then you won't listen to the other side. Vandana Shiva, my question to you is, Sambit Patra, should he actually come out with 5 concrete examples of 5-star activists? Should he come out with them if he has them?
I don't think so. I think we should. I don't think that's the issue. I don't think the focus should be activists. The first time I came to the Supreme Court was as an expert of the Ministry of Environment. It was related to the Doon Valley case. We had done the study. In that case, the courts, on the basis of Article 21, the right to life of the people, shut down the Doon Valley mines and all the polluting industry. And the Chief Justice of that time, P.N. Bhagwati, ruled, when commerce starts to undermine life, then commerce must stop, because under Article 21, life must carry on. It was a government case. The second time I went to the Supreme Court was as a mother, to have the natural guardianship of mothers recognized equally with fathers. That was not about 5-star activism. And the third time I went was when Monsanto entered our country illegally. And they violated our biosafety laws, didn't get an approval from the Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. And we stood there to defend the national interest, the public interest, the Constitution, and the democratic rights of our people enshrined in our laws. So would the Prime Minister prefer to have the courts influenced by Monsanto than have public citizens defend the Constitution, the national interest, and the public interest?
To the viewers, and I get MR Venkatesh, feel free to respond. MR, don't have to hold yourself back by taking Sambit Patra's example. The question very simply tonight, each of the speakers on the other side...
I am ready to come in, but only,
one second,
Sambit, allow me to speak. I know your tactics.
Sambit, the fact is that there are 4 speakers on this side. Each one of them tonight, MR Venkatesh, is giving concrete examples.
Give my example that I am not speaking. Give me time and I will see how it is.
Sambit, I am now making a point. Each of the speakers on the other side is ready today with a specific example to prove the argument against 5-star activism wrong. I request you, since Sambit has been unable to, give 1 or 2 examples and say these judgments were influenced by 5-star activists.
Sambit is able to Arnab Goswami. Allow Sambit
let there be some specific examples put up tonight. D Bakshi joins the debate. MR Venkatesh, give us specific examples of 5-star activism. Give us any 1 example, 2 examples of 5-star activism.
Okay. Arnab, two examples I will give you. Let us look at it very dispassionately. When the Prime Minister talked about judiciary, he did not talk about the Supreme Court, he talked about the entire length and breadth of the judiciary. If that is the benchmark, let us go ahead one by one. We have 2 former chief ministers of this country facing corruption charges and got the bail. But one got it at an elongated time, the other got it in a jiffy from the Supreme Court. Eyebrows were definitely raised. And this was what I call as 5-star judicial activism, or 5-star activism that influences the judiciary. The second one, which comes to my mind, which you yourself ran in your channel today when in a sitting minister of the Union Cabinet, the Chief Minister comes and says that the justice will be delivered in this case far quicker and it will be delivered in a jiffy. Now look at it. If it were you or me who were there...
But that had nothing to do with the court. I'm sorry. But that had nothing to do with the court. Now let me ask you. Let me ask you. 1 second. Let me ask you. Let me ask you, MR Venkatesh. MR Venkatesh, you picked up the 2G case very strongly in the past. Now let's get specific, okay? You pick up the 2G case very strongly in the past, and I think it was Mr. Modi who was arguing against what had happened in the 2G case when he was in the opposition. Now, who are the petitioners there? Subramaniam Swamy, who you often agree with on the issue of black money. My question is tonight, if the Prime Minister is right... Sorry, yes, who's coming in on this? My question is very simple. Subramaniam Swamy was the petitioner in this case along with Prashant Bhushan. My question is very simple. Is Subramaniam Swamy a 5-star activist, MR Venkatesh? Is he?
Arnab, he is not a 5-star activist.
No, but then...
He is not a 5-star.
So,
but please understand.
Answer the question. So when the... by which conclusion I can say, MR Venkatesh, I can say therefore that when the judgment agrees with you, the person who is petitioning is not a 5-star activist. When it disagrees with you...
But see, I have given you one...
When it disagrees with you, the people who are 5-star activists...
I have given you an example of 2 chief ministers.
May I get everyone on the screen?
No, Mr. Venkatesh, those examples, this is your government.
Madhu Goud,
it is a BJP government. I have a question to Mr. Venkatesh.
Madhu Goud has a question for MR Venkatesh. Madhu Goud.
He is giving a wrong example of those chief minister cases.
Listen to Madhu Goud.
My straight question to Mr. Venkatesh.
Listen to the question.
My straight question to Mr. Venkatesh is giving an example of those chief minister cases where prosecution opposed the bail petitions. If the courts are influenced by 5-star culture, it is your government, it's a BJP government, your public prosecutor should have opposed those bail petitions. No. What have you done about it? No, please understand. No.
I'm a lawyer. Let me tell you.
Okay, Mr. Goud, you made the point. He'll reply now. Mr. Goud, your point is taken. He's replying now, Mr. Goud.
Yes. Which I don't agree, and you may not know the facts, which I'm sure. in this case. So just because you are a lawyer, I need not agree with you. Please understand that in the second Chief Minister's case, the entire state of Tamil Nadu was opposing the bail application, if at all, and that state was under the control of that particular Chief Minister. So don't tell all these things to me. Yes, the Supreme Court is supreme, but it is not infallible. Often it comes under the hydraulic influences of public opinion, and this has been a standard admission by no less than several Chief Justices themselves, several legal luminaries, several legal lawyers, several activists, and this is a fact of life that activism does influence justice.
Okay.
And this is not only in India, it is world over.
Okay.
It is not a phenomenon that is limited to India.
Okay, so here's a question. No, 1 second. I give the example of an activist. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Madhu Goud, 1 minute. Madhu Goud, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. So, what was one of the most important judgments that came in recent times? Was Subhash Agarwal, Sambit Patra? My question is about Subhash Agarwal. You've heard of Subhash Agarwal. He's even been celebrated and honored by the government. Subhash Agarwal approached the courts in an attempt to bring the judiciary under the ambit of the RTI. Today, Mr. Narendra Modi calls for judicial scrutiny. What about the activists like Subhash Agarwal who called for it long before him? Are they also five-star activists?
Give me some time, I'll answer you point by point. Number one.
No, are they five-star activists?
Play the speech of just...
Come in here, Arnab.
Can I?
You should first reply after that.
Yeah.
Sambit is cornered tonight, but let him reply.
I'm not cornered, for God's sake. If you are under a design not allowing the BJP spokesperson to speak, that does not mean that BJP is cornered, Mr. Goswami. That only means that the debate is biased. That only means that the debate is biased.
I want
to answer all your questions. Give me time. And I challenge you. You would not be able to take me down. Allow time to Sambit Patra, and I challenge you. I challenge you, you would not be able to take me down. Only be quiet for a while.
Madhuresh, 1 minute. Sambit,
have a fish market debate. Allow me to take over all.
Sambit, a 30-second intervention before you continue. One.
No. I have not even made my point. I was listening to everyone. I cannot make for these intersections. You have started the whole debate on false perception. You should play the video of Mr. Narendra Modi where he says, "Sochna hoga." क्या ये लोग परसेप्शन बदल रहे हैं, प्रयास किया जा रहा है क्या? What was Mr. Goswami? You have to learn to listen to the Prime Minister at least. If you don't listen to your panelist, that does not mean you should not listen to the Prime Minister of the country. And the Prime Minister says, "Sochna hoga." What was this conference all about?
Okay, here's a point. Okay, I understood your point now. I understood your point. Now I want to say something before taking the discussion forward.
Have you understood the point?
Now, Mr. Patra, don't keep repeating yourself. It's a bad habit. No, one second. I'm making the point at 9:25.
Now let me tell you.
9:25 p.m. 1 second, Sambit Patra. Now you listen to me, and I'm saying something to you. Please listen to me.
You wanted to know who.
Please listen to me now.
Allow me.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Okay, 1 second.
Please say it.
Okay, so 1 second, please. Madhuresh, stop, and Sambit Patra, stop. Now, what's the point? No, Madhuresh, please stop. 9:25 p.m. I am asking tonight for specific replies to specific questions. Now, I'm not naming any individual person, but there are some people in the panel. What they do is, when they're asked a specific question, they begin by saying, "Now I have listened to you, now give me time to speak." That is a standard television tactic. You're not sure of what your response will be, so you buy a little bit of time to put your thoughts together. And then instead of answering the question, try and obfuscate the debate, go to some generic point that you want to make. Now, any viewer will see through it. Now, I am not naming you. Why are you responding? No, 1 second. So I am saying here. I am saying here. I must say, Sambit. Also, the second point in the debate. The second point in the debate which I am making, since I am addressing the viewers, don't come between me and my viewers right now. I am making a very important point. My second and very important point is, brevity is not just the soul of wit. It is the center point of a strong argument.
The Times of India, keep it down.
No, 1 second. Brevity is not just the soul of wit, it is at the heart of a good argument. Making a point again and again, repeating yourself non-stop, the same sentence over and repeating it ad nauseum while the other participant is speaking is actually a form of television heckling. Without naming anyone tonight, the Prime Minister hasn't named anyone, neither have I. The Prime Minister hasn't named anyone, neither have I. You're not objecting, the Prime Minister don't object. I'm saying tonight, I want a specific focused debate. And my question tonight goes once again, is Subhash Agarwal, who's been fighting for bringing in the judiciary inside the ambit of the RTI, a 5-star activist? Very specific, and I want a short response from Sambit Patra, and then I'm coming to you. Madhuresh and Satinath, I'm coming to you. Yes, Sambit.
No, he is not a 5-star activist.
Okay.
5-star activists are the armchair activists
like who?
who only try to build a perception without knowledge of the matter.
Okay, so
tonight, the 5-star activists will be making the loudest of noise. The real activists would be silent.
Okay, so here's one example. Okay, fine. Point is made. Good short point. Satinath Sarangi. Satinath Sarangi is responding. Satinath Sarangi.
If you remember, I mean, we just saw Sambit didn't mention one 5-star activist. He just said whoever is in tune with our Prime Minister is not a 5-star activist. What is it? Name one. Name one. And secondly, just answer this question. Didn't the BJP influence the judgment on the Sohrabuddin fake encounter case in which Amit Shah was discharged?
What do you ask the judge?
No,
I filed a petition against the judge. Filed the petition against the judge who discharged Mr. Amit Shah, and let the judge answer this question.
Oh! No, what is your opinion? Why?
Whether he was influenced by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Whether the judge was influenced by the Bharatiya Janata Party on discharging Mr. Amit Shah, giving him a clean chit, is something that you as an activist...
Satinath Sarangi, Satinath Sarangi, I bring in a caveat. Satinath Sarangi, no, one second, Satinath Sarangi. If you ascribe motive, you cannot do it on the basis of conjecture. And on this program, I want to say something to you now. I want to say something to you. I don't think it will be. I don't think. See, what are facts to you will be fiction to someone on an issue like this.
There are 3 judges.
Satinath Sarangi, I'll have to request you to restrain yourself on that.
Satinath Sarangi, you had facts. Why did you not go to the CBI?
No.
Why did you not come
Sambit. Satinath, the point is very simple. No, 1 second. Satinath, the point is simple, and I'll hold you back on this one. I'm sorry. I want to discuss the issue. I don't want to get into naming or making accusations against individual judges, and you will respect the fact, Satinath, since I'm responsible for to some extent, the editorial content of the program. I do not think it is appropriate to now start saying this judge is bad, that judge is corrupt, this judge is this, that judge is this. Let us go back to the subject, and I go back. Otherwise, this discussion will be a discussion on the Sohrabuddin case and not a discussion on the broad issue which has been raised here. And I think we should rightly challenge it, but challenge it in the right perspective, in the right way. Also with the right amount of restraint. Now, my question goes once again. D Bakshi, welcome to the debate. Welcome to the debate.
I'm still waiting, Arnab.
1 second. Mr. Goud, I'll come to you, Madhuresh. My second question here tonight is, the People's Union of Civil Liberties, R Venkatesh, and Madhuresh can respond to this one, was responsible for the PIL which had been filed in the case of giving people the right to reject none of the above option. My question to R Venkatesh is, Narendra Modi himself had welcomed the judgment. He'd hailed the judgment. Was Narendra Modi then hailing 5-star activists? And this is when he was in the opposition, by the way, R Venkatesh.
Yeah, I agree with you that you cannot pick and choose selective acts of whatever Mr. Narendra Modi has said and done. It is what Mr. Satinath said just a few seconds back. He says that if Mr. Amit Shah is not held guilty by the court, then the court is compromised, and Mr. Amit Shah has necessarily to be held guilty. That is what he says. This is what is the type of perception-based activism that these people are practicing, and for them...
But equally, R Venkatesh, equally it can be argued that when those who Prime Minister is referring to are people who the Prime Minister and the BJP may be ideologically at odds with. Does that mean, therefore, if I take the conclusion that 1 second. MR, the courts, in the arena of the courts, you cannot expect, in the arena of the courts, you cannot and should not expect one ideology to win all the time. The courts are not supposed to be ideologically prejudiced.
Exactly.
You know my point.
Exactly. That is what Mr. Exactly. That is what Satinath is saying.
So Satinath is wrong, but does that make the Prime Minister right? Suppose Satinath is wrong, does that make the Prime Minister right?
That is what.
Does that make the Prime Minister right?
That is what.
If you are accusing, if you are accusing Satinath Sarangi of prejudice in this matter. Suppose, let us say Satinath Sarangi is a very prejudiced man. And it is his prejudice which is reflecting in his argument, right? No offense, Satinath. Okay. But suppose that argument is made. Okay. Then by the same argument tonight, you should say Sambit Patra is a very prejudiced man. Because he too expects. He's not named anyone.
No.
Has he named anyone?
Point is not.
Has he not made a sweeping observation? Is he not backing the sweeping observation?
Drawing Sambit Patra there.
Arnab, let us say it is not whether it is ideologically left or right. The point is the courts are getting prejudiced by either.
Show me one example. One example is all I want.
No.
D Bakshi.
Arnab,
Mr. Modi is speaking to a group of High Court and Supreme Court judges. I am requesting tonight, yes, D Bakshi, I'll come back to you. 9:33 p.m. I'm saying give me one concrete example, say this judgment was influenced by a five-star activist. Let's have the courage to say so. And then debate this. G D Bakshi, please. G D Bakshi, start. General Bakshi, please.
Arnab, can I kindly get a minute?
Yes, General Bakshi.
Can I please? Can I kindly get a minute?
Court Act is withdrawn. I will say this.
General Bakshi.
Arnab, I would like to state in all humility that the armed forces and security forces of this country have been at the receiving end of judicial activism precisely of the five-star variety that the Prime Minister raised. Innumerable, such petitions have been raised to try and demonize the armed forces, to try and put a brake upon our operations, to try and slow down the operations. This is a fact that we have had to live with.
Example. Be specific. Example, sir. General Bakshi, example.
On this program.
Example.
Sorry, on this program.
Example,
on this program, Arnab, we were debating the lady who wanted to go to the United Kingdom.
Yes.
To go and present her case against India.
Yes.
She was taken off that plane, and
yes, but let me say this to you. No, one second.
Of the left-wing so-called liberal.
No, 1 second, 1 minute. Now, you raised the pre-appellate case. And you are fully aware we were the ones who were asking the toughest questions in the pre-appellate case. It is our job as journalists to ask the tough questions, even if they are uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Those questions, General Bakshi, were asked before the judgment was delivered, based upon the facts that were available in the public domain at that time. The Delhi High Court ruled in pre-appellate's favor. But I like to say that whether you agree or disagree with the facts, you must remember, and I've brought to bring Vandana Shiva in this, the same Delhi High Court on March 13 said that the documentary on Nirbhaya, which many activists wanted to air, should not be aired till the Supreme Court took a final call on the matter. So the Delhi High Court refused to stay the ban on the documentary, citing it may impact the trial. That too was dubbed by many activists as a free speech issue, but the courts did not buy that yet. This proves that at some level the courts are being determined by the facts of the case. So I'm going back to the subject tonight. I think, Madhuresh, I think those on the other side must name some of the five-star activists influencing the cases. 1 second.
See, I have a point to make here.
I am ready, Arnab.
No.
Yeah.
Arnab, there is no concrete evidence, and I would only say that Prime Minister has nothing to say on this. It's only the fact remains that he was trying to go a little far and trying to put judiciary on the back foot, I would say here. And we should remember this. Why? Congress government towards its end faced a number of cases, 2G, 3G, and many coal scam and many others. Judiciary is responding to a perception. Then in that case, media is creating that perception. And for example, if you want to look at it, then what is it that the government is the biggest perception creator? You have got the media, you have got the blitz, publicity, make in India, everything. You are the biggest perception creator. And in that case, you are accusing activists, It's a matter of taking. Mr. Modi has taken it upon himself that he wants to drive home the point.
Madhuresh,
everybody is demonizing it.
Vandana Shiva said sometime back. Vandana Shiva said sometime back.
Has media also along with it.
Vandana Shiva, back to the debate. Vandana Shiva, please. Vandana Shiva, Sambit, after Vandana Shiva.
Statement Mr. Modi
yes, Vandana Shiva.
I'd like to say two things.
Go ahead, Ms. Shiva.
This issue of judicial activism, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh also raised it when all those cases came up, and the courts were working according to the law of the land and the Constitution. Sadly, as corporations are taking over the economy and our governments and the executive is getting too close to them, and only the independent judiciary is upholding the Constitution and law, of course the executive is panicking. But they're not panicking because of activism, they're panicking because of the Constitution, which is very robust in this country. They're panicking because democracy is robust in this country. And that is why this debate is vital, because it's about the Constitution and the law of this land, and the executive systematically undermining both the rights of nature and the rights of
one example is all we want.
I would like to just say, if you push the limits of nature too far, and you push the limits of social justice too far, it won't be too long before India looks like Nigeria and Somalia and Sudan and Yemen and Syria. Their two ecosystems were broken, their two societies were broken. Please do not break society. Let's all work according to the Constitution and the democratic rights of the people.
I find very strangely, before I get the other panelists back to the debate, 1 second. After me, please don't speak. I'll just come to you, Sambit. The point is very simple here. I find it very strange. Not so much time has passed in the debate, ladies and gentlemen. I have been pleading. I have been virtually begging from the beginning of the debate. Give me one example of a five-star activist influencing the judiciary. There are two comments. The comment was, five-star activists influence the judiciary. Judiciary is no longer fearless. Big comment. You have to be able to substantiate it with something. Once again tonight, 38 minutes past 9, I am requesting the other side to come up with a specific example. And I'd like to give one more example of my own. Was it a five-star activist who filed a PIL?
I have been hearing every activist.
Okay, he's giving an example now. Go ahead, give the example. Give the example.
No, I am not supposed to move according to...
No, why can't you give the example?
Let me put my...
Give me one example.
No, I'll give you examples.
Give me one example.
I'll give you examples.
Give me one example.
No, please, or not, don't
please give me one example. I've been asking you the question. You can't answer the questions. Mr. Patra, you cannot answer the questions as you wish. You can't answer the questions as you wish. You have to answer the questions I ask. And I'm asking you tonight.
This is not fair.
I am asking you tonight.
I am asking you tonight. Mr. Arnab, Goswami,
9:40 p.m. not one example comes
yesterday night also, but you have not given me time as yet. You have to allow the panelists to speak.
Okay,
only
one second. Sambit Patra says I can't give an example because you're not giving me time. Now, I will give Sambit Patra 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes. Your time starts now, Sambit Patra. Give us an example.
Of this whole debate. The Supreme Court judges did not have this kind of debate.
Vandana Shiva, please.
Made a question.
Vandana Shiva is not giving any example.
A fish market, a cacophony market over here. And you don't allow others to speak.
Mr. Sambit Patra, please hold yourself back. Don't be rude beyond the point, Mr. Patra. One second, Mr. Patra. I will not stand with this kind of boorish behavior. Mr. Patra, if you Mr. Patra, you have no right. You have no right being the most unrestrained participant in the program. Mr. Patra, you don't listen to others. You don't answer a question. So let me tell you how you are doing. You don't listen to others, you don't answer a question, you can't give one example, and then you are commenting on the quality of the debate.
Mr. Goswami has to allow the Bharatiya Janata Party also to speak, or else Bharatiya Janata Party knows how to extract.
Now, Mr. Patra, don't be so arrogant. Don't be so arrogant and don't point your finger like that. 1 second, Mr. Patra, not just 1 second, not just what you're saying.
This is humble activism, not five-star activism.
Not just what you're saying, but your body language, Mr. Patra.
A poor panelist fighting for his rights. A poor panelist fighting for his right to be heard. This is not five-star activism, Mr. Goswami. A poor panelist. I'm a poor panelist sitting in a corner window fighting for my right to be heard. Please allow me. Please allow me some time.
You think it's funny?
Oh yeah.
I deserve
by
some
leveling
time.
allegations.
You are pointing fingers towards the Prime Minister of this country, and Sambit Patra deserves time to bring the facts to the country. Yes.
But nobody speak anything.
Now.
Continue. No, continue, Sambit.
Yes.
Give me one example.
Starts now, and I have to speak. Number one. This kind of deliberations between the court, this time of deliberation between the court and the executive has been taking place since independence. And this is because of the fact that the court, which stays in seclusion, once in a while invites suggestions from the executive that what kind of perception do you have about us? And in this spirit, the Prime Minister of the country, the right that he has, bestowed by the people of this country, exchanged certain ideas with the esteemed court. The court did not object to it.
I didn't give him that.
Even if the court would disagree, they would agree to disagree because it is healthy in democracy. But we are making a farcical debate out of it, which only shows that it is quite unfortunate, which the executive did not object to, which the judiciary did not object to. We are trying to make a hoopla out of it.
Okay.
There are perceptions in this country who are trying to build a perception on every issue.
I object to your argument.
Mr. Prime Minister only said that is it not the time जब हमें सोचना होगा कि क्या perception बनाया जा रहा है, क्या एक प्रयास किया जा रहा है? What was so wrong in this?
Okay,
what is so wrong in this?
Give an example.
You have gone for 3.
My time ends.
Okay, his time has ended now. I'll just make 2 points before the other panelists come in. I just 2 points. 1 second. Madhu Goud, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes. First of all, I hope tonight, after this program ends, when I send a tape of this program to Mr. Sambit Patra, he will watch all that he has said and his body language and ask himself whether he has appeared to be arrogant in it. Secondly, if you felt it was a farcical debate, 1 minute now I'm speaking, do not speak over me, Mr. Patra. If you felt this was a farcical debate, I didn't hold you by the scruff of your neck and force you to participate in it. It's a relevant debate.
No, this is arrogant.
It's a relevant debate, and we are discussing a relevant subject. No. Thirdly, I have requested probably 15 to 20 times in the course of this debate for you to offer one example of a 5-star activist influencing a court verdict, which is a very important subject. You have not yet, till 9:44, come up with one response. Now, I'd like to give some time on the other side. Madhu Goud, before coming to you, I'd like to go to Madhuresh ji, please. Yes, Madhuresh. Not one example.
Well, there is no example. He has no example. Prime Minister has no example. I would only say that perception, this government is running on perception. And I think that's why it keeps coming up. I would just bring in the land ordinance here. You think land ordinance is of perception. Farmers are dying, crops have been lost and everything, and you still are talking about perception. So you cannot rule the government, you cannot run the country by perception. I would only make
even an inch of land has been acquired, Baba. The farmers are not dying because of land accuracy.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You should know
that's what I'm trying to say. That the Prime Minister makes it like that the farmers are so unhappy. Farmers are so unhappy that their land is not being acquired. They are dying to get their land acquired. Is it what you're saying? You're trying to
Congress government has
build another perception.
No. Acquiring the land of
Mr. Patra, no, Mr. Patra. You are trying to run on perception.
Okay, one more example.
One more example in this case. Now you've taken the judiciary.
Since I'm giving examples.
That they are also working on perception. Forget it. Do hard work, some reality. Nothing is working on perception.
May I please?
People of this country
you see, Mr. Modi has claimed that the judiciary is vulnerable to the influence of 5-star activists. But the Supreme Court has also...
Its career has been saying that we won the election on perception, and today they are saying nothing is working on perception.
1 second, Sambit, 1 second. In May 2013, the Supreme Court dismissed what would be called an activist public interest litigation challenging the Cairn Vedanta deal and said there was nothing malafide in the $8.5 billion transaction. Was that influenced by 5-star activists? Tell me. Was it influenced by... When the Supreme Court dismissed a PIL questioning the appointment of Shashikant Sharma as the next CAG, Prashant Bhushan was appearing as a counsel for the petitioner. Was that influenced by 5-star activists? When the Supreme Court dismissed a plea by Prashant Bhushan in July 2011, calling for the CBI to investigate Kapil Sibal over 2G, was that influenced by 5-star activism? How many more examples need to be given? You make a solid point, you have to back it up with some facts. You have to. You are not questioning the position of the activists. You are questioning the influence activists have on the judiciary.
Example. I am not going to illustrate any example.
Why won't you?
Fall into the trap.
Why won't you? Why is it a trap?
Is it a
trap?
Listeners have understood.
Satinath Sarangi, is this a trap?
The speaker has spoken, the listeners have understood.
Miss Vandana Shiva is...
Since the BJP spokesperson cannot bring any example, I will give an example of Bhopal in which the government actually influenced the judiciary and the activists actually tried their best and succeeded to some extent in nullifying that influence. It was under the influence of the government that the
Satinath Sarangi happens to know the inside story of every judge.
No,
who was being influenced, how they were being influenced.
I said it was...
Now, why should I allow you to complete when you are in the process of contempt of court? I am only saving you, my friend.
No,
I am only saving you.
No, I think Mr. Sambit Patra, I request you to be...
challenging every judge that he was influenced.
Mr. Sambit Patra, I don't think anyone needs any saving. I don't think anyone needs any saving. I bring the discussion to another point. Let us argue tonight. Let us argue tonight that Mr. Modi's basic contention, leave the activist part of it aside. Vandana Shiva and R Venkatesh, let's bring you into the debate. What is Mr. Modi's basic contention? His contention is that perception influenced the judiciary, not the facts.
An independent judiciary.
Independent.
He is worried about an independent judiciary. This is a red flag. Basically, he would like to influence the judiciary. Sadly, he is scared of an independent
Mr. Modi called the judiciary divine? He compared it to God. Have you heard the complete speech? None of you come prepared over here to debate. You do not hear the complete speech.
We consider nature divine.
So
and then he also
God,
do all the laws that protect nature. So
it is a process where the executive and judiciary discuss among themselves as to how they should rectify each other. What is the problem in it?
The problem is, Mr. Sambit Patra, if you only go a little deeper.
I do think the current government... I think the current government is afraid of democracy and an independent judiciary. And those are strengths of India.
This is an ill-found charge that activists have been making since 2013. But the people of this country are wise enough to know who in fact was curtailing democracy and who wants real democracy.
Madhu Goud,
that is the reason we have kind of mandate after 30 long years.
Madhu
This is humility, not arrogance.
No, Madhu Goud, now let's look at the other side. Mr. Goud, Mr. Goud.
Where does Prime Minister and film star come over here?
Five-star culture. Accusing the judiciary, the five-star activist
Mr. Madhu Goud, your vice president is living a life like a king in some European country in Bangkok.
You don't act like an anarchist
the Prime Minister with a film star. No, Mr.
Madhu
No,
wait a minute.
When
Wait a minute. Listen to me first.
Like a prince.
Listen to me first.
Time in Bangkok.
Listen to me first.
You have the right. You dare to call the Prime Minister film star. A man who is not sleeping. A man who is sleeping only for 2.5 hours. You are calling him a film star.
Listen to me first.
Madhu Goud, go and find Rahul Gandhi from Bangkok. Bring him from Bangkok. Bring him back from Bangkok. Then talk about Mr. Modi, Mr. Goud. You have no right to talk about film stars and politicians. I will not.
You listen to me first.
Does not want to listen to you, Mr. Madhu Goud.
Don't behave like an anarchist.
Missing leader party.
Don't behave like
you
an
are
anarchist.
a missing leader party. Your leader is in Bangkok. And you are telling the Prime Minister of this country is a film star. Do you know Mr. Modi does not sleep for more than 3 hours?
Yeah.
Your leaders will vanish to exist. Cease to exist if they start working like Mr. Modi.
He is Margadarshak. Mr. Advani not even inviting him for the BJP day. He is an anarchist.
Don't divert yourself from the subject.
On this issue.
Don't divert yourself into the subject. Madhu Goud, first of all, Sambit Patra, calm down. Sambit Patra, I find today, may I make an observation on a lighter note?
If he calls the Prime Minister a film star, I am not going to calm down. The Prime Minister is a Prime Minister which the country has not seen over decades. He dare not call the Prime Minister a film star. Rahul Gandhi is in Bangkok and calling the Prime Minister a film star. If Rahul Gandhi starts working like Mr. Modi, he will cease to exist. Do you know, Mr. Madhu Goud? He will cease to exist.
You cannot accuse the judiciary.
You stop. The country does not want to listen to you, Mr. Madhu Goud.
No Prime Minister.
We don't want to listen to you.
Accuse the judiciary or judiciary influenced.
It is
no, do you remember? I have the speech of Mr. Manmohan Singh, which he made to the Judicial Conference in 2008. He speaks about the PIL. He speaks about how the PIL should be controlled. He speaks about bringing about regulations to control PIL. Have you heard Mr. Manmohan Singh's speech in 2008? No, because you suffer from selective deafness.
Now, gentlemen, Sambit Patra and Madhu Goud, please come back into the debate, and I want to draw you back to the subject. Madhu Goud, calm down. Madhu Goud, calm down. On a lighter note, I have an observation. May I make an observation, please? The only time these days when Sambit Patra begins to get convinced about his own argument is when he speaks about Rahul Gandhi.
No, because he was calling the Prime Minister.
That's all right. That's all right. 1 minute. Now, for God's sake, Sambit Patra, I made the observation on a lighter note. However, Mr. God, however, 1 second. However, I would like to make a point here tonight that it is very interesting. D Bakshi, want to come in? Okay, I just want to make a quick point. Okay, D Bakshi, why don't you go before me? Yeah. Go before me, then I'll make my point after you. Go ahead.
You know, Arnab, may I state in all humility that this is not a banana republic. The Indian Constitution has held firm the 3 pillars of our democracy. I think they have all done yeoman service. So that is not in question today. What we are trying to state, and I think the implication is that definitely we have been seeing judicial activism coming in a very insidious way through a set of lawyers who have taken up cases with an agenda. I mean, let's not pussyfoot about it. They have taken up cases with an agenda, and that agenda sometimes has anti-national overtones. I mean, that is a fact. That is a fact. And like I said, we in the armed forces have received the brunt of that. So I do not think it is wrong to say that. One is not saying that the judges of this country are purchasable.
No, 1 second. By the way, to the viewers tonight, you can give us your opinion. We're going to be carrying the tweets on the program. 1 second. 1 minute. First of all, to the Congress party, please step down, Mr. Goud, from your moral high horse tonight. I know you're feeling fantastic that Sambit Patra could not present even a single example. You may gloat about it. Fine. But my question is to the Congress party now. Congress party, what position are you in to comment on what Modi has said? You made life miserable for the judiciary. Every opportunity you could, you questioned the judiciary. You put pressure on the judiciary. Your cabinet ministers wrote articles in national papers questioning the judiciary. You said when the judiciary delivered path-breaking judgments, was questioning your open corruption. You were the ones led by Manmohan Singh, who tried to hold back the judiciary. Manmohan Singh was the leader of the pack when he said there has to be a line between judicial activism and judicial overreach. Why? Because they took you on 2G, CWG, each and every case. You slam Modi today, Madhu Goud, and I'm glad you're listening. It was your Congress government with Sonia Gandhi as the Prime Minister who slammed the Supreme Court judgment on the cancellation of 2G licenses. You said, and I quote, it raises questions of contravention of established principles of segregation of functions between the executive and the judiciary in the respect of formulations of policy. Forgot? Forgot, Mr. Goud?
Mr. Arnab,
have you forgotten? You want me to go into more examples? In fact, let me tell you this. Let me give you one more example, and then you should answer. No, I'll give you one more example, and after that you answer. You slam Modi today. It was your government, Sonia Gandhi as the president, Manmohan Singh as the prime minister, which told the Supreme Court that its order into the SIT on black money is an open case of judicial overreach. Did you or did you not? Please tell me.
Mr. Arnab,
did you or did you not? Sir, did you or did you not?
We're saying no.
Sir, you asked, sir, I'm sorry. I'll give you one more example. You asked the Supreme Court to stay within its limits. Sir, you asked the Supreme Court of India to stay within its limits. Sir, you asked the Supreme Court of India to stay within its limits when some pressing questions to the center over FDI in retail. On FDI in retail, you told the Supreme Court to stay within its limits.
Nobody.
Sir, you did. Did you or did you not?
Nobody said, nobody can, no.
Never.
Of course you did, sir. Manmohan Singh in February 2012.
Never.
Till you admit, I'll keep giving you examples. Till you admit, I'll keep giving you examples. Manmohan Singh attacked foreign-funded NGOs in February 2012 in the context of the Kudan Kolam agitations and the BT Brinjal agitations. Did he or did he not?
I listened to you patiently and let
Sir, please understand.
The Congress Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji or the Congress government asking judicial or commenting on a judicial activism, and today the Prime Minister Modi's statement of the judicial influence by the five-star activists is it's not the same.
Really? Tell me one thing. Now, therefore, a counter question to you. In March 2012, 1 second. I have my facts on this issue. Because you don't be hypocritical, Mr. Goud. In March 2012, there were 77 non-governmental organizations.
Hypocritical, that's a bit.
1 second, sir. 77 non-governmental organizations put on a watch list by the UPA government, led by Manmohan Singh. And why? Because they were questioning the Kudan Kolam plant. There was a meeting which was chaired by the present Rashtrapati, then Finance Minister Arnab Mukherjee, which involved Home Ministry officials. You put these people on a watch list, right? The visa applications of their members were scanned. Yes. This was the UPA government saying it is hostile to national interests. At that point of time, you were taking a position that the people who were questioning Kudan Kolam were five-star activists. So how can you forget this? No, sir, answer my question tonight. No, I can't let you go on this. No, I can't let you off the hook. M R Venkatesh, am I wrong? M R Venkatesh, am I wrong?
Accusing the Congress.
M R Venkatesh, am I wrong on this channel? No, M R Venkatesh wants to come into the debate. M R Venkatesh. Sir, please. M R Venkatesh now. M R Venkatesh, please. 5 minutes on the debate. M R Venkatesh. M R Venkatesh, please. I think the Congress representative is
going. The last word has not yet been spoken.
M R Venkatesh.
I would be with the Congress on this because the Kudan Kolam project is a very dangerous way on which five-star activists jumped in and opposed the project because it was a sponsored
so you agree
in Kudan Kolam.
So
yes,
you agree?
I agree with the Congress on this. Yes, I agree.
So you also agree, M R Venkatesh, therefore by inference, by inference, M R Venkatesh, you agree. M R Venkatesh, you at least I can accuse you of a lot of things. I cannot accuse you of intellectual dishonesty. 1 second. I have fought with you on many subjects. I've never accused you of intellectual dishonesty. Tell me tonight, therefore, you agree with me by inference that governments like to label people as five-star activists when what they do does not agree with them, and the judiciary agrees with them, it pricks them.
Exactly. Please understand there are certain things which you and I do not know, which the intelligence reports give, which the government machinery has. And understand, influence is a matter of subjective thing. It cannot be subjected to law of evidence.
Satinath Sarangi, Madhuresh, come back to the debate, please.
Absence of evidence is not evidence of its absence.
Sir, Madhuresh is countering you, Madhuresh.
Pressure being put on.
Madhuresh.
I would only say here
Kudan project was a very sponsored
project.
Remind the Congress of the emergency days. Remind the Congress of the emergency days.
And believe and act that the PILs are always troubling them. So they are always making baseless allegations against activists. An only consistent note on your program is that the activists who are always on the other end, they are always criticized by the government and by the parties. Parties play politics. They don't do anything else. I would only say that. So today it's BJP, tomorrow it will be Congress. They take roles reversal. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh did the same. What Mr. Modi is doing today.
ADMK, we will support the government.
Mr. Arnab,
we will not give time to me to rebuttal it. People are raising
policy making
your voice
is the domain of the executive.
Exactly, that's why you have a problem with the independent judiciary. You have a problem with the independent judiciary. It's a BJP, Congress, anybody in the government has a problem with the independent judiciary.
If a judiciary steps into the domain of the executive or the parliament, and we made an objection
judiciary only steps when the executive is not doing its job.
Or accuse the Congress.
Mr. Gowda, judiciary only steps in. They work on the principles of law. You know it. Many times in the activist...
My question, Mr. Madhu Goud, please remember one thing. This is a fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is you are taking on Modi about his comments on the perception created by activists and also by the media and the likelihood of the judiciary being influenced by this. The fact is, and I'm sorry if Sambit Patra gets upset with this, but Narendra Modi Gen is speaking in the same tone as the Congress party did when they were in power.
No.
This is exactly the point here tonight. Satinath wants to come. Satinath and Sambit Patra.
But as is very clear, with the BJP and the Congress screaming at each other is that both governments they do not like an independent judiciary. They would like to influence the judiciary, and it is the activists who have actually protected the constitution and constitutional rights and have fought for justice. It is the activists who we call five-star activists who have done it. Both BJP and Congress have a history of trying to influence the judiciary.
Okay, one last chance, one final time. Would Sambit Patra like to give one example? 1 hour has passed. One example.
Yes.
One example to back his point. Yes. One example. On public demand, Sambit Patra. Substantiate your argument with one example. Otherwise it will look very weak on the debate.
Let us all peep into ourselves. We will see who is the five-star activist. The speaker could understand, the listener could understand, and we will also know once we, Satinath, we look into you, don't look
counter
at me.
question, no, we won't. No, what's it?
And you will know what kind of activist.
Okay, final point is being extended 3 minutes. I'm extending the debate by 3 minutes. I have a counter question for Sambit Patra. 1 second, gentlemen, 1 second. Counter question. And now I hope at least now, on this question, he gives me a specific answer. Because this is the core of the debate. Sambit Patra. Is Teesta Setalvad a five-star activist?
Yeah. I have told right from the very beginning, I will not go into illustrations. I will not fall into this trap.
Is she a five-star activist?
Her own self and let her...
Why are you not answering my question?
And decide. I will not. Because this is a dangerous trap laid over here.
There is no trap at all because the Supreme Court, because I'm putting this in the context of the recent fact.
I will not go near the trap, Mr. Goswami.
I don't lay traps, I ask questions. How infuriating that you accuse me of laying traps.
Say yes.
I never lay traps, I ask questions.
Again. What would be
I also give answers, and my answer is let us introspect whether we are only armchair activists or whether we are committed activists. And every activist knows. Every activist knows whether they are armchair activists or real activists.
You know,
whether
Mr.
they are perceptionists or whether they are working for upliftment and elimination of poverty.
What's it? Madhuresh, did he dodge and duck? And if he is dodging and ducking, should he deny?
Yes, because I will dodge, I will duck.
You were saying you will dodge and duck.
Brilliant. Very next day on other topic, he would have named her, he would have named Priya Pillai, he would have named many others, saying these are all five-star activists working against the international interest. So this, stop lying, Mr. Patra. Today you are calling it a trap. This is not a trap, please. Name it if you have evidence.
I mean, look, you want answers from me. You are answering yourself. So is this my fault?
I'm not answering. No, you tell us which judgment.
No, you are saying you have
okay, so here's one question.
Five-star activist, probable five-star activist.
Sambit Patra.
Probable. It's not probability.
Okay, specific question number 2. Watch it. Mr. Patra, let me just say one thing as a caveat. Are you under any misconception that I am enjoying your plight tonight? I am not enjoying your plight. I'm asking you again.
You are free
the
to
Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court, you can be measured and calibrated, but you choose to become measured and calibrated only when you face difficult questions. Now, the Supreme Court stayed the arrest of Teesta Setalvad and her husband Javed Anand in a recent case, right? When the court did that, I'm sure you don't believe the court was under any influence of five-star activists. Do you think they were?
The party's stand is absolutely clear.
Do you think they were?
That the Supreme Court is the final court of verdict, and whatever verdict comes out of the Supreme Court is respectable to all, and that's the reason as to why the
Prime Minister of the country
have to tell the Supreme Court what to do.
It was a forum, Mr. Goswami, just as media has introspection amongst its own self, you debate and you discuss as to how you should regulate yourself. Similarly, the two siblings, as the Chief Justice defined rightly, two siblings, the executive and the judiciary, were sitting together deliberating on issues. Why are we and you worried? Let the two siblings deliberate. They had no complaints, but we are shouting at the highest decibels tonight.
Mr. Patra, I'll only say that remember one thing. Remember one thing, that Teesta Setalvad was pulled up by none other than the Supreme Court for approaching the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights over the issue of witness protection vis-a-vis the 2002 riots.
Tonight.
So no, when I have tonight given a million cases at your disposal. You have answered with none. Let the viewers decide who's won this debate. I thank you very much, Sambit Patra and everyone else. Thank you very much. Vandana Shiva, D Bakshi, Satinath Sarangi, Madhuresh, R Venkatesh and Madhu Goud for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight.